a new day. If not, do understand and get your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. And so today's video is pretty much about faith, okay? And I wanted to do this video because I was thinking about earlier today when I was walking my children to school, right? And one of the things that I started seeing in my life, okay, because is really important that we observe our lives and we start seeing like why we tend to do some of the things that we do in order for us to actually really change our lives. And you guys hear me say this time and time again, and I'm gonna keep on saying it. You have the ability to alter your life. You have the ability to change your life. You do not have to stay the same. You can change at any given time, but you always have to remember and understand that the choice is yours. We all have choices, okay? And what's the difference between you and the other person, right? The person that is living out their best life, the person that are, living out their dreams, the person that wakes up each and every morning to get to do the thing that they absolutely love to do. The only difference is that person have decided to live a life of abundance, to live a life of meaning, to live a life of success, right? And oftentimes we look at somebody and we'll say, well, this person, they got it all figured out. What I come to realize, a lot of successful people, okay, they don't have it all figured out, okay? They figure it out as they go along. If you have everything figured out, one of the things I recall my mentor Bob Proctor saying, he said, whenever you write down a goal, and if it doesn't scare you and excite you at the same exact time, then that goal is not a worthy goal. Okay, because your goal, it should excite you and it should scare the hell out of you at the same time. Like, so one of the things I'm gonna share with you guys, right? One of my things at times, and I started taking this coaching with Peach McIntyre, okay, who is a content creator. She's amazing at her job, okay. And I know that Peach was on Section 8, and different. She was on Section 8, and she was able to get off Section 8 by doing YouTube, right? She became self-sufficient. And one of the things you have to also understand is you want to be around people, or you want a coach that could guide you based upon where you currently are, and you see them and you see where they are in life, like finances or whatever, and you say, all right, well, this person, they could possibly help me because they were in my shoes once upon a time. And so you the point is, you want to go to people that know what they talking about. Okay, you can't go to your next door neighbor and ask them how to be a millionaire, honey, if they ain't no got a millionaire. Okay, you can't go to your family and friends and ask them how to, if you want to learn how to fly a plane, you can't go to them and ask them if they don't know how to, if they not a goddamn pilot. Okay, that's just the basis of it. Okay, and so one of the things that I tend to do is I constantly study. I constantly study. And I know, you guys have heard me say this time and time again, but I'm constantly studying. I'm constantly studying. And the reason being is because we all been programmed to think a certain type of way. Okay. And so recently, like, I know my income is about to be quadrupled. I know that. Okay. It's like a innate. I know that. Okay. But sometimes I think about, oh, I'm gonna be off Section 8, and it's a good thing. It's a phenomenal thing, right? For me to be able to take my family, me and my children, and give them such a life that I, as a kid, used to dream of, right? I mean, it feels so amazing to know that I have the ability to do that. Like, I have the ability to change me and my children's lives. But at the same time, is a little scary And so what I constantly do is I constantly read. I constantly read the Prosperity Bible. I'm constantly reading different books. Like this book is called God Works Through Faith. And one of the people who recommended this book is Bob Proctor. Okay. I told you guys every time Bob Proctor would mention a book, I would go literally on Amazon, put the book in a cart, and I would get the book. Okay. And this morning when I was listening to Bob Proctor, one of the things he said was faith based on understanding is the key to success, right? Sometimes people don't tend to do things because they don't have the understanding. Like you may think like, oh, well, I'm going to try these different things. And maybe those different things that you try, they don't work out like the way you expected them to work out. And so then you quit, right? You quit. Or I've been doing this for 6.5 years, okay, making content. And one of the things that I started seeing within my life was, as I was making content, I would constantly get into different things. Like it's so many times. Every time you turned around, I was into something. Okay. I tried network marketing. Okay. And to me, it's like, well, at least I tried it. Right. At least I tried it. It didn't work for me. Okay. It doesn't mean it's not going to work for someone else, but at least I tried it. And the reason why it didn't work for me was because it was like, it wasn't something that I was like really, really excited to wake up to do. Right? Like these videos, like I've been like extremely excited to wake up and do the videos. Okay. I get so extremely excited to do certain challenges and then make a video recording it so you guys can understand that you have the ability to change your damn life. And it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what's your education level. None of those things matters. What matters is you taking a choice. I mean, you making a choice. You deciding, you know what? I want my life to be fairly different than how it's been. Okay. And so I'm always doing something different. So when I did network marketing, I did one company, okay, and the products, they was phenomenal, but I just wasn't passionate about it, okay? And so I did 2 network marketing things. Then I had opened my own business, okay, selling fitness gear, okay, because I was working out each and every morning on Facebook and stuff like that, doing Facebook lives and then working out. And then, so I said, you know what, I could open my own business up. Right. And then I did that. And then afterwards, I was like, I don't really care for this. And I was making sales like, but it wasn't something that I woke up in the morning excited, like really to do. Right. And it's different because these videos that I tend to do is so opposite. Because when I first got started, I remember my mother was like, you are really obsessed. And I was obsessed. I was obsessed to let people know that you can change your life. Okay? Like, for instance, I don't care for large crowds. Like it's just it depends, right? Like standing for in a certain spot for a while and just is like just waiting. I don't care for that. Okay. And so today, right, lately I let my children, I asked my youngest son, who is 8 years old, like, do you want to walk, with your sister? And he'll say to school, and he'll say, yeah, I'll walk, we got this, or whatever it was. And then one of the things that I started understanding, like the more I am studying, the more I'm like, all right, I'm ready for this challenge, right? I'm ready to go do this. I'm ready to go do that. And I think a lot of times while people tend not to want to study or tend not to want to do the thing is because it's gonna cost you. It's gonna make you. You know how many times I studied and I'm like, oh my goodness, like it could be something like I don't want to go outside today. Okay, I don't want to do this, right? And then it's like I'm studying some material from Bob Proctor, and then it's like, all right, let's go on a train. Right? So, the ability of knowing that you have the choice to change your life, I mean, that should excite you alone, because none of us have to stay where we are. And I said this last night: it's either you creating or you disintegrating. Okay, in life, it's either one or the other. No, I haven't. Peace, Philip. I haven't done gardening. But I did used to work for a plant company. But yeah, so we all have the ability, to change our lives and things of that nature. And I wanted to read this. I wanted to read something in here. Okay. I read this book. I remember when I first got this book, and I was literally outside reading this book. I was waiting for the train, and I started tearing up. Okay, because this book is so good. It's such a phenomenal read. And whenever is a phenomenal read, I always tell you guys, like, the books that I'm reading, because let me tell you something. If you are serious about changing your life, you are going to take radical action. You are going to do something different. You're not going to keep on talking about how you want your life to change or why things don't work out for you and things of that nature. And what I come to realize is this: the people who always complain about their lives, okay, they're not ready to take action. Okay, because if you're ready to take action, you're going to do something radical. You're going to do something scary. The reason being is because you are sick and tired of living the life that you are currently living. And you see that you deserve more. And you may not know exactly how you are going to get that more. You may not know what steps to take in order for you to get that more. You may not know exactly where to go in order for you to get that more. But by you making a decision and saying, you know what, today is the day I am going to change my life. Only you have that ability to change your life. Nobody can do it for you, okay? And people are responsible. Well, it is their fault for how they may have raised us, but it's your goddamn responsibility to take your damn power back. Why you keep on naming, blaming, gaming, shaming people and saying, oh, well, it's this person's fault. Look what they did to me as a little kid. I get it. I get it. But honey, that's not serving you. That's not serving you by you keep on dwelling on what happened in the past. It comes a point in time where as though you say, you know what, that happened to me in the past. How could I do something about getting help? Or how could I change my life? Everything that had occurred to us in our lives, okay, we all have the ability to do something different. But oftentimes what tends to happen is what your mama and your daddy and whoever may have done to you, you keep on reliving that cycle. You keep on living that cycle. And as you get older, you are making those choices to continuously suffer. And I know some people don't want to hear that. Some people, because they want to blame others for where they are in life. But let me tell you something. Where you are in life is a reflection of your consciousness. Is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And it's not until you start changing your reality, and reality is not real. Okay, if reality was real, we will all have the same exact perception. But it's for you to start looking at your life and start saying, you know what, I can do something different. Whether that is going to get help or going to therapy, or whether it is you picking up books, whether it is you going to seminars, whatever it is, you have the ability to change your life. You do not have to stay where you are. Oh, you're welcome. You do not have to stay where you are. At any given time, you can move. See, I have a choice. And this is one of the things that you have to understand about life. That life, it doesn't care, right? In the words of Earl Nightingale and Jim Rohn. One of the things I remember Jim Rohn had said, his mentor Earl Shoaff said, it doesn't care what type of seed you plant into the soil. It's gonna give you back that same exact harvest. Whatever type of seed you planted, you're gonna reap that benefit. And I remember as a kid hearing my grandmother say this over and over and over again. And I never knew she was actually talking about the laws, the laws of the universe. But that's really what she was saying. She would always say the seeds that you plant, you gonna reap that harvest. And she would shake her head. I can see my grandmother now. She would shake her head, and sometimes she'd be holding her arm up to the light like this, and she'd be like, "Honey, you gonna read as sure as I'm living." She wouldn't necessarily say "honey," but she'd say, "As sure as I am living, you, they gonna reap that. You gonna reap that, right?" And she would constantly say it, right? Like if I told her whatever it was I was going through, and how somebody did X, Y, and Z, and she'd say, the seeds that person planted, they're gonna reap that, right? And so one of the things that you have to understand is the seeds that you're planting, you're gonna reap it, and it doesn't matter. See, some people think that if they cry enough, right? Because I used to be one of those some people. If I cry enough, if I beg enough, if I, whatever it was, if I did enough of that, then this thing will not continuously show up in my life. But at the same time, you're not getting the lessons. And so therefore you repeat the course. The universe is it don't play favorites. Okay, well, maybe it play favorites in the sense where as though if you follow the laws, if you go with the laws of this here universe as opposed to going against them, okay, then you will reap whatever it is that you desire. But even if you don't go up, even if you do go against the laws of the universe, you're gonna reap what you don't want to keep coming into your life. So we all have choices. We all have choices. We all have the ability to change it. Now I have a choice, okay? One of the things that I can continuously do, I can continuously say, well, you know what? When things don't work out in my life, okay, or the illusion of that they're not working out in my life, okay, I could hide. I could hide. I could say, you know what? Well, this not working. Let me step away from it. Or I can say, I don't know what the hell this is going on in my life, but I know it's working for the greater good. I don't understand what's going on, and I may be a little pissed off about whatever is showing up in my life, but I know it's working for the greater good. And that's what life is. It's all according to how you see it. You can see the cup half empty or half goddamn full, but whichever way you see it, that is what's going to continuously show up in your life. And so you got to ask yourself, am I ready to make a change? Do I understand? Remember what I said, Bob Proctor said, this quote, faith based on understanding is the key to success. A lot of people don't do what they know they ought to do because of fear. Because of fear. One of the things I remember as a kid, I would hear my mother constantly say, like she was afraid of heights, right? And what I did was, I remember when I first got started with personal development, and I remember how I was so eager to change my paradigm, which is a multitude of habits. I was so eager to do something different. And I remember like it was yesterday, I wanted to challenge myself so I could get some things different from life. I wanted something different from life. Okay, my spirit, it wanted to, your spirit, it wants to expand, but you keep on holding it back because somebody along the way may have convinced you that you don't have what it takes. Okay, and you actually believe that, and you buy into that story, and you actually believe that you don't have what it takes, and so that's why you won't show up. That's why you won't show up, okay? So one of the things that I did was, I remember I would go for walks, right? And I remember this one particular day, okay? I remember what my mother, what she would say, And I was listening to, I don't quite remember what I was listening to, But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna walk the bridge, okay, by my house. I'm gonna walk the bridge from where I live to New York, okay, because it's like from New Jersey to New York, and I didn't have a clue on how to get on a bridge. I didn't, honey, and I've been living over here at this time, I think for like 3 years or so, because normally I would drive. So it was like I was challenging myself, and of course I could have drove or whatever, but it would never been a challenge, right? And so I remember I called my oldest son, and at the time I believe my oldest son was probably about 16 to 17. And I asked him, I was like, you know how to get on the bridge? Right? I was like, you know how to get on the bridge? And he was like, what? And I was like, you know how to get on a bridge? And he was like, what bridge? Right? And I was like, by the house, like, you know how to get on there? And he was like, no, I don't know how to get on there. And I was like, I'm trying to get on the bridge. I was like, I'm trying to get on the bridge. Right? And he was like, and I guess he was afraid for me, like, but he really was afraid. Okay, it wasn't so much he was afraid for me. It was like he was afraid. So one of the things he told me, he said, don't do it. Like just don't go. Right. And I was like, no, like I gotta find a way to get on here. Okay, because I was determined. I was like, I gotta find a way to get on here. And some may say, damn, you was like that determined to walk a damn bridge. Yeah, because I didn't want someone else's fear to be my fear. And so I was determined. I was eager. Okay. And so what wound up happening was like the way I walked, it was crazy. Okay, instead of me walking directly the shortcut, okay, it was like I walked all the way around. It was crazy, but I finally got up there. Okay, and I was a little afraid. Okay, I was a little afraid, but all I kept on doing was I kept on saying mantras. Okay. I kept on saying, I got this. I made sure what I was listening to, it was inspirational. Okay. And the reason why you fear some of the things you fear is because you don't have enough reps in. Right. Because afterwards, after I started walking a bridge a number of times, I started working out up there. Okay. And so don't tell me that you cannot go from being a little afraid because you are facing the unknown, because you are interrupting your routine, to actually being successful in doing so. Being successful in saying, you know what? I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I believe in myself enough to face myself, and I know I am capable. And I know I am capable of getting better results. And I tell you guys this wholeheartedly, and I like to say this all the time because I really want you to understand this and get this. Whenever you follow your heart, the universe will conspire in your favor. This is not something, at first I read The Alchemist, and, heard Pablo Coelho say it in The Alchemist. I believe it was The Alchemist, or it could have been Real Smart. Okay. But I remember hearing it, and it just set something up within me where as though it sounded so true, right? And every time I have gone someplace that, probably I'm not familiar with, and maybe I'm a little afraid because it is something different, right? I always have people that I don't know. It's like they intentionally are there for me, right? It's like I remember this one time I had went to this Whole Foods. So just FYI, okay, Whole Foods is like a place I love going to. Okay, like especially when it comes to food, whatever, shopping at the supermarkets, Whole Food is like one of the places I love going to. Okay, it's just a different vibe. Okay, it's just different. All right, you see some luxury, some stuff in there. Okay, some people with the luxury cars and stuff like that. I like being around that. Okay, I like being around stuff like that. And so I remember this one particular day, feeling a certain type of way. And I would go to Whole Foods that's like far out. I like going to different places, not staying in the same exact place. I like experimenting, okay? Experimenting when it comes to, seeing different things and going different places. And, so I like that. So it's this Whole Food that is probably like 45 minutes away driving, right? And I would go out there. And I remember this one particular day, how sometimes you just like, you may have got some things going on with you in life, and you probably can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I can guarantee you the light is at the end of the tunnel. You just can't see it, but it's there. And so I got online and I had on like chakra bracelets and stuff like that. And the cashier who was there, like such a phenomenal, like just lovely soul. And she was asking me about my chakra bracelets and stuff like that. And me and her started talking. And it's so funny because oftentimes I'm like, I just want to get in and get out. I just, sometimes I just want that time to myself, right? And it was so funny because as me and her started talking, it was like people that was behind us. And we just like we just kept on talking until, afterwards I was like, all right, gotta go. But the universe, I could guarantee you, like, whatever it is you believe in, source, I don't give a damn what you call source, but it's going to guide you along the way. Like, it's going to guide you. You have to have that faith. And let me tell you something. When I got this book, I told you guys, like, I was literally like outside standing waiting for the train, crying, like tears coming down, because the book, it was like speaking to my spirit. And I'm trying to find some quotes. Okay, let me see. All right. The primary purpose of spiritual therapy is not to make unhappy people happy or sick people well or poor people rich. It is not to solve problems or to establish better and healthier living conditions. These are results. The primary object is to help people realize the presence of God. And when I say the presence of God, because I know some people, they be kind of wrapped up when you say, oh, you are God. Well, let me tell you something. You are the creator of your reality. Now, I'm not saying that you are the or be or, okay? But when it comes to your reality, okay, you are the creator of your reality. And as long as you thinking that something is creating is, okay, the circumstances that's showing up in your life, you will forever be waiting for somebody to change your life. You will forever be waiting for somebody to come and change your life. You have to start understanding that you have the ability to change your life. And it's up to you if you want your life to change. It's up to you, okay? By you saying, oh, well, it's some people, when it pertains to health, and they say, well, God isn't going to put this on my plate or whatever, or God, they going through certain things. And a lot of times what it is a violation of the laws of this here universe. That's what it is. And so when you violate the laws of the universe, then it's a cause and effect. And so then you get certain things, bad health or whatever it is. You reap what you sow. Okay? You reap what you sow. And so let me finish. To become acquainted with God, to become self-empowered, what is this person's name? If Israfel told Job in the midst of his suffering, acquaint now thyself with him, God, and be at peace. Thereby good shall come unto thee. To most Christians, God is a name rather than a warm and living presence. This is what the book says. That's what the Christians talk about him, sing about him, read about him, preach about him, and pray to him. But very few of us take the time or trouble to get acquainted with God. How then can we know God? How then can we know him as a very present help in trouble? When we learn that faith cannot lift us any higher to take us any further than the level of consciousness on which we function. That it cannot take out of consciousness something which is not already there. Or that it cannot give us anything that is not already given. If I want to know about electricity, how to use it and how to direct it, I associate myself with electricians who are experts with motors, copper wires, switches, and transformers. Through them, I come to the realization of electricity. If I want to know about music, I associate myself with outstanding musicians with musical instruments and compositions. Through them, I come to the realization of music. If I want to know about painting and how to paint, I engage the best teacher I can find. I associate myself with artists with paints, brushes, and canvas. I study the masterpieces of the world, and through all these, I come to the realization of painting. If I want to get acquainted with you, I must identify myself with you. I must associate with you and be a companion to you. I must give you my thought and time. I must study your mind and your nature. If I am to understand you, I must know all about you. I must surrender to you. How then does one get acquainted with God? How does one get to know him? Only by practicing his presence. God must become to us a living, pulsating presence. God must become as real as our friends or the members of our family are to us. We must know him not as a cold and lifeless name, not as a vague and misty personality, but as an actual living partner. The first function of faith is to make God real, to make him as real to us as he was to Jesus, John, and Paul. Where is God? Within each one of us. Okay? So when I say you are God, you are the creator of your reality. Okay? If you think that God lives outside you, it's no wonder why you continuously get the same exact thing from life. Because you are looking for something outside you. You are waiting for something to come rescue you. It didn't matter how many times I cried. It didn't matter how many times I begged, and I would beg, like why certain things would show up in my life. But one of the things that I had to start understanding was, Dina, people could only do what you allow them to do. And once I start understanding it is because of the choice of not choosing myself, why I was getting what I was getting, then I had to start reflecting back on me. Why do you believe that you should be treated like this? Why do you believe that you shouldn't have boundaries? Why do you believe that it is okay for someone to call you out your name? Why do you believe that people could run amok over your life? Why do you believe that? And oftentimes I would say, well, because they my family members. Or, I gotta listen to them because if I don't listen, then I won't have any good luck. So it's all according to what you believe. If you believe that someone should be able to control you and control your life and tell you exactly what you should be doing in life and talk to you any old type of way, then you're going to accept it. You're going to tolerate it. Because it's somewhere in your being you have been programmed and controlled to believe that someone outside you knows best. And it's not until you start looking at your life and saying, well, this is my life. You guys know, or some of you may know, I have 4 children, right? And with my 2 oldest children, I remember we would bump heads quite a lot. And I remember when I got into personal development. One second, let me just close the window. I remember when I got into personal development, and I would hear it was Lisa Nichols, okay, and shout out to Lisa Nichols because oh my goodness, it was so many days that I would listen to her seminars that she would have, and I actually went to a Lisa Nichols seminar. It was called Speak and Write to Make Millions. Phenomenal experience. In fact, that experience, me going to see Lisa Nichols in San Diego, that was like the actual first time I flew on a plane by my damn self. And you talking about afraid? Okay, I was a little afraid, but I still went because I wanted change. When I say eager for change, okay, if you're going to be eager, if you see where your life is and you know, like it is a part of you that know you can do better. Is a part of you that know you deserve better. Is a part of you that say, you know what? I deserve a better life. And you know what? I am going to get that to myself. I am going to, me and my children, we deserve this. Okay. And so, so I flew out to see Lisa Nichols by myself. I was a little afraid. Okay. First time I was like in San Diego. Okay. But one of the things that I remember from studying was that once you get past culture, people are generally the same. Okay. And so what that caused me to do was, I was out there in San Diego. I was taking lifts. Okay. Now I was only there from I got there Friday. So I was there from Friday up until I believe Monday. Okay. Monday. And I was taking lifts, okay, going to their supermarket, Ralph's out there, okay. So I was out there, okay. I was out there, okay. And one of the things you're gonna have to start understanding and getting is through this walk, okay, of life, whereas though you changing your life, whereas though you want more from life, you want different from life, and you showing up for yourself. You're going to have to go alone. It's going to be many times you're going to have to go alone. Okay. Cause I remember this one when I was going out there. Okay. Me and my sister was supposed to go together. Okay. My day one, my sister Melissa, we were supposed to go together and something had happened. It was our first time booking flights. Okay. We was like more confused. I don't know what we was confused. And she booked a flight, but it was like different from my flight. So she couldn't go, okay? And I had a choice, the choice of saying, nah, not this time. I'll go once my sister could join me, or I'll go once somebody could accompany me. But it was a part of me that was like, no, you're going to go now. You're going to face it. You're going to do the unthinkable. You're going to get on a plane by yourself, okay? You're going to take that next step. And I did it. I went there. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. Okay. I didn't know what to expect. But one of the things that I have said was when you follow your heart, the universe will conspire to work in your favor. Okay, Ralph Smart or either The Alchemist, whichever one who said it, okay? But it will work in your favor. And everything worked out, okay? I stayed in a hotel room by myself, okay? But everything worked out, okay? And so that's what you have to understand. You have to take that leap out on faith and not saying that, you got to just look at your life and say, do I deserve better? Right? Do I deserve better? And the answer is yes. We all deserve more. And one of the books that I highly recommend that you guys always hear me mention, okay, if you've been watching my videos for a minute, okay, and I've been mentioning this book faithfully, okay, The Prosperity Bible. Okay, the Prosperity Bible. Look, a lot of times the reason why you probably don't have the income that you desire is because somewhere along the way you feel as though it'll put you closer to God if you was broke. And I know some, some may not care for that, but it's the truth. Okay? Because you have been conditioned to believe the less you have, the closer to God you will be. And I'm not religious, and I'm not into religion, but you have to ask yourself, where did you get that philosophy from? Where did you get that philosophy from? Because if God is within, okay, and God wants to be expressed, that's why your spirit, okay. The more it's like, if you want to jump, you want to jump higher, right? If you want to read one book, you want to read another book, okay. It's like it's always looking for ways to expand, to express itself. And by you playing mediocre, and that's why it's one of the laws, okay, of this here universe. It's either you create or you disintegrate. It's either you're creating or you're dying. And I don't even think that's not even a true quote. That's not even a true quote. And that's another thing, because some of the things that we tend to say, we just say, well, my mother told me this. I'm gonna share this story, okay? And I think I shared it before, okay? It was a mother, okay? It was three, well, actually it was three people. It was the daughter, her husband, the daughter and the husband, okay, at first. And so the daughter had went to make a loaf of bread or something. But before she put the loaf of bread in a pot, like she made the dough, whatever, she started cutting the ends off both sides of the loaf of bread, okay? And she was putting it in the oven. And her husband said, "Why? I noticed you do that. Why do you do that?" Right? And she said, "My mother did this." Right? And so they got to the mother, they asked the mother, like, I noticed the husband said, "I noticed, your daughter, she always cut, the ends of the loaf before she put it in the pan. And she told me that she got it from you. Why you do that?" And the mother said, "Oh, because my mother used to do that." Okay. So then they get to the great grandmother, okay, great grandmother or whatever, great grandmother. And the great grandmother said, "Well, I did it because the pen that I had many years ago." She had a pen many years ago, okay, that was very, very small. And that's why she did it. And up until this point, her great granddaughter, she's still following that tradition because that's what her mother had taught her. And so what I'm saying is, it comes to a point in time where, as though you start looking at your life and you start saying, all right, well, I know my mother or my father or whomever may have said this, but is it conducive to my life? Is it serving me in any type of way? Is it working out for me? See, that's what I started doing. I started looking at my life and I started saying, wait, hold up. Okay, although I've been conditioned to believe this, to believe that, oh, if I stand up for myself, I'm not going to have no good luck. If I say something that I don't necessarily go along with, I ain't going to have no good luck. And so you know what wound up happening to me? I started experiencing anxiety. Okay? Then the anxiety started turning into fucking depression. Why? Because the belief system. And so I'm here to tell you, if you do not start questioning your reality, if you don't start saying, wait, I know I've been conditioned to believe this way, okay, and the way I have been conditioned to think, it's not working. It's not working for me. And so therefore, I need to do something different. I don't know what that difference is, but I know goddamn well it's not going to be what I've been programmed to believe. I remember when I first got started and I just kept on studying, kept on feeding my subconscious mind, kept on feeding my subconscious because I wanted better. I wanted goddamn different. So much so that I was willing to put the time in. I did not care if somebody said, goddamn, you still listening to that? Did not care. Okay. This is my life. Okay. This is my life. And I want my life to be better than what it is. And therefore, I am going to take radical actions. I didn't give a damn what no one said. I just kept on showing up. I just kept showing up. Because I knew if I wanted different, I had to do something different. Doing the same exact thing each and every day and expecting for something new to come or arrive or for you to pray and things just turn out different, it's not going to happen. I'm just here to tell you. Is not going to happen. And if you believe that, good luck to you. And I'm not a fan of luck. I don't believe in luck. But good luck to you. Because your life is not finna change because you cry a little. Your life is going to change when you start getting a lesson and you start saying, well, you know what? This is not working for me. So therefore, I need to do something different. And I remember, my mother, at first she would say I was obsessed, making the videos. You are obsessed. It seems like you are obsessed with this, right? I was obsessed. And I'm still am obsessed. I am obsessed for different. I am obsessed for better. I am obsessed for knowing that the answer is out there to whatever it is that I desire. That's what I am obsessed for. I am obsessed for change. And you have to be, if you're not obsessed with whatever it is, I mean, you're going to be playing mediocre. Oh, well, things gonna one day get better. One day, you ain't got all the time in the world. And you saying one day things gonna get better. How about you make the choice and decision today to change your life? Whether it's to read the book, whether it's for you to go on Amazon and put one book in your goddamn cart, whether it's for you to read the book that's been on your shelf for so many months, whether it's for you to go to the gym and work out or work out in your house, whatever it is, the choice is yours. Stop blaming, naming, gaming, shaming, and saying it's because of X, Y, and Z. It's not because of them. It's because of you. And it's not until you take accountability and responsibility of your goddamn life will you get different from life. We all have the same exact time, 24 hours in a goddamn day. And you have to ask yourself, what seeds are you planting? Because let me tell you something. The seeds that you planting, it echoes into your goddamn future. There's no future. But what you doing in this here and now moment, it creates your future. And so if you're a person that is constantly putting in the time, putting in the work, constantly, elevating your mind, okay, evolving constantly, okay, constantly being kind and whatever it is, you're going to reap that. It's not a such thing as whatever you do in this here universe, the work goes unnoticed. Those seeds are being planted. And as long as you keep believing in yourself, as long as you keep on doing the work, before you know it, honey, you're going to have the biggest bamboo tree that you have ever witnessed. Why? Because you decided that. You decided to show up for yourself. You decided to put the work in. You decided to do something different. Let me tell you guys something. I remember I took this course, right? I'm always investing in myself. Always investing in myself. I don't care if like Peach McIntyre, her course, she had like 5 days, the last 5 days for mindset, $10. Okay. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting it. I'm doing the last 5 days of mindset. It was a 30-day program, but she was like, the last 5 days, $10 you could get in a course, right? And so I joined the course, and I got 3 more days or so of it. right? But let me tell you something. I remember I had took this guy course, Michael Burnoff. Okay, is it Burnoff or Beckworth? I think it's Michael Beckworth. But anywho, I had took his course. Okay, this was the time during I was a part of network marketing, and I absolutely love Michael Beckworth. Okay, is it? No, it's not Michael Beckworth. Michael Beckworth is Agape. I love Michael Beckworth too, but is Michael Burnoff, okay? And I took his course, okay? And I remember he had this exercise. He kind of put you in the mind of Tony Robbins, so to speak, okay? Like his voice and everything like that. And I kind of Tony Robbins and what's the guy? He's funny. He's a comedian. Van something. He put you in the mind of those two types of personalities, right? He's like hyper, full of energy, phenomenal guy, right? And I remember I took his course, and we would do a Zoom call, okay? And I believe the course, it was like $200 and something a month or something like that, okay? And we would do this Zoom call. And every month, I think it was like 2 times out of the week or something like that, or once out of the week, every Friday or whatever, we would get on the Zoom call and we would talk about, why aren't we moving, right? And some people, I'm gonna tell you how this course went. So it was one guy, right? And Michael Burnoff, he was asking him, he said, so the guy was like, oh, he got on the call and, raised his hand, whatever it was, so he could speak. And he says to Michael, Michael Burnoff says to him, so, what's going on with you? So the guy was like, oh, well, I know I need to create my website because the guy has a business. So he says, I know I need to create my website, but I have not created it yet. And so Michael Burnoff says, like, so why didn't you create it yet? And he says, so Michael Burnoff says, so what do you do? Like, how's your day go typically, right? So the guy's like, well, whenever I think about the website, what I tend to do is I tend to, do yard work. Like I'll mow the lawn or whatever it is like that, so it could have me feeling like I'm doing something. But in actuality, it's really taking me away from what I know, in fact, I really should be doing. And you know where that comes from? That comes from fear. That comes from fear. Then there was another young lady who was talking about her weight, right? And she was saying pretty much like, oh, well, I'm a certain way and I don't know why, I done everything. And Michael Burnoff says, you done everything? And she's like, I done everything. I done been to the gym. I done this. I done it. And one of the things Michael Burnoff says, which he gives you straight drink, no chaser. He says, if you done everything, then you would be at your ideal weight. And he says to the lady, he says, well, maybe you eating, certain things that is not helping you, right? And she's like, no, that's not true. I'm very strategic. Like when it comes to my diet, I'm very this, I'm very, and this is goes back to what Kevin Tredone says, okay? How teachable are you? How teachable are you? Because some people, and I know this in my life too, right? I remember when I had paid for Peach McIntyre, who she has like 500 and something thousand YouTube subscribers. Then she has like 1 million on TikTok, and so she's very successful when it comes to social media. And I remember when I paid for her services, right? So she could look at my analytics, right, on my YouTube page. And one of the things she had told me, she was like, oh, your thumbnails, and she was saying like your videos, your short form videos, like they need to be shorter and all this other stuff, right? And I was like, no, like in my head, I'm like, no, But here it is. You say you want to be successful on social media. And like the book says, okay, God works through faith. Okay. And it says in here that if you want to know how to do something, you go to the successful people that knows how to do it. And you don't say, well, because you so stuck in your ways, and a lot of that is ego, because you so stuck in your ways. So now you say, well, no, what you telling me, that's not true. And then how successful would you wind up being? Because evidently I had to take a look in the mirror and say, all right, Dina, well, evidently your way ain't working. All right, you got to do something different. Your way ain't working. Okay, you was doing this for 6.5 years. You need to do something different. And if you pay for someone's services, and if you feel as though you're not going to listen, why the fuck pay for the services? Or pay for the services and then put the ego to the side and listen to what the coach or whomever is saying. And it goes right back to how teachable are you? I remember I had heard Bob Proctor say, he said he don't work with no one. If he tell them to do something one time and they don't do it, he said he don't work with them. And then he don't give them a refund back. He don't give them no refund. He said, because you hired me to do something, and evidently you knew that I was capable of doing it, unless you wouldn't ever hire me. And if you want to waste your own time, then hell, be it. But you're not going to waste my time. And that's one of the things that you have to start understanding. Time you don't get back. That's why whatever you do in these here times, it echoes. So you can keep on saying, well, I'm gonna do it next week, or I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna read that book. I'm gonna read that book tomorrow. How about you go pick the book up now? While I'm on this goddamn live, how about you go pick up the book now and just open up the book? And some of you guys just won't do it. And then you wonder why your life is the way it is. Because you're not even willing to take the action, the necessary action to move from where you currently are to get something different. And if you don't do that with the book, guess what? You ain't gonna do that with nothing hardly in life. The book is just a goddamn metaphor. And so if you don't take the first initial step, guess what? You're gonna keep on saying, all right, well, I'ma wait. I'ma do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I know I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it next week. Next week comes. Same exact thing. And the crazy thing is that success takes no more time than what failure takes. It takes like, and some people would say, well, I'm gonna ask for the least of things, okay? Because I believe I could get those, but it's all the same exact thing. Is all the same exact thing. So if you like, all right, well, I'm not gonna, I'd rather watch something on television. I'd rather do something different than to do this, than to read this book. And perhaps that book will do something to you where as though your mind, okay, maybe your mind is start saying, you start getting creative. Oh, I read this one page and, the book told me to, it struck up some ideas. You'd be very surprised. Very surprised how these things work. I once said that the universe is a even flow. Okay, it's like a dance. Okay, you dancing with the universe. It's like that. And if you are out there saying, all right, you know what? I just want the universe. I just want God to do all the damn work. I'm just going to sit here and continuously do what I've been doing. And things just going to change in my life. Honey, you in for a rude awakening. It's an even flow. Okay? It's like meeting it halfway. It's like, all right, well, you know what? I deserve better. I want better. I want more from life. I'm gonna pick the book up. Okay? Don't quite know how this going to manifest itself out or exactly what's going to happen in my life, but I deserve better. And so therefore I'm gonna pick the book up. What the hell? Okay, pick it up. Then I start reading it. Okay, I get so intrigued and I'm like, oh my goodness, this book is really good. The Prosperity Bible. I had that book two years, and every now and then I would read it. And then one day, just one day, when my intuition was speaking to me, told me to go to Walgreens so I could put money on my card so I could buy this other book. And at first I said, I really don't feel like going to do that. I said, I really don't even feel like going out the house. I really don't feel, I don't even see what's the point of doing it, okay? And then it was like my intuition just go to Walgreens. And I said, all right, you know what? Let me just goddamn go, okay? And I goes to Walgreens and, I ordered a book called Contract Law for Dummies. I ordered a book. I'm walking back home and I'm listening to this guy, High Frequency Use of L on YouTube, right? And he's there and he's telling the story of how he had to change his mindset when it came to money, right? Because he said he had a poverty mindset. And he's rather successful, okay? Have a plethora of knowledge, okay? And I don't know him from a milk carton, okay? But as I'm walking, I'm listening to him. And he's telling a story about how he started reading, okay? How he started reading. There's a book. And the book was The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, right? Now, okay. So because he read it, he was reading a book through on YouTube, like an audio. And I had the Prosperity Bible. And I said, all right, oh well, The Science of Getting Rich is in here, right? Remember, 2 years I had this book, okay? Every now and then take a crack at it, open it, or whatever. Let me tell you something. God, source, whatever you want to call it, is going to lead you the goddamn way. If you saying, I just want the answer, honey, let me tell you something. Seek, ye shall find. Okay, that saying didn't derive from nowhere. You seek and you will goddamn find it. Okay, and so I'm, listening to reading The Science of Getting Rich is probably my fourth time around now reading it. And so every day I just read. every day I just read it. Every day I just read it. Now I may pick up another book, right? But every day I'm goddamn reading. And this comes from a person that would say, I don't read, right? Why did I say I don't read? So now I say, and I recommend books. Why? Because if you want your life to change, you have to change your life. If you have been doing the same thing for so long, okay, and you actually think that something different is going to change, you are living in fairyland, okay? Because ain't nothing gonna damn change until you damn change, all right? And so that's why I started picking up the books. Not only did I start picking up the books, I started actually reading the books. Then I started applying the books to my life, which called Applied Wisdom, okay? Applied knowledge. I actually picked the book up, read the book, and then I say, you know what? I could implement this into my life, okay? The book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, it talked about fears, okay? One time I was going to this new workout outside. It was fairly summer, okay, and I didn't know the people from a milk carton, okay, but I remember what the book said. The book said, keep constantly tell yourself that I am serene, I am calm, okay, I am confident. And as I was going there and I felt a little nervous, I kept on saying it. I am serene, I am confident, I am calm. And I kept on saying it, and I kept on saying it, and I kept on saying it, and I kept on saying it. And mysteriously, okay, voila, right? I started feeling a little calmer, okay? I still felt a little nervous, but I started feeling a little calmer. I started feeling like, oh, okay? But it came from me reading a book and actually applying the shit what the book said. I didn't read the book and say, all right, well, this is a good read, and then come on social media. Oh, let me tell you how many books I read. No, I read the same books over and over and over again. And I apply the shit to my life. That's how it works. You got to apply it to your life. When I go somewhere new, like to a restaurant I never been to, I bring the books. That's what I do. And I record myself in a goddamn restaurant. And so if I feel any type of emotions and stuff like that, I read the books. This is an ongoing thing. It's not like, all right, well, I'm going to do it one day, because let me tell you something. You've been programmed. We all have. Okay? And this is not like an overnight thing. And I know many of us, we see the TikToks and whatever it is, the 60-minute videos, and we think like instant gratification, like, oh, well, now it's better. No, you have to constantly put the work in. You have to constantly see that I deserve better. You got to constantly feel that, you know what, whatever it is that's showing up, I have the ability to change this. And I know the answer is out there. You have to be a solution-oriented person. You have one or two choices, one or two options. I'm going to keep on dwelling on the problem, or I'm going to start looking for the goddamn solution. Remember what I said about the seeds that you plant? Those seeds that you plant, if you seek, ye shall find. If you knock, the door shall be open. Those words, those sayings, they mean something. And if you just look at your life and say, all right, well, you know what? Hey, you know what? Shit. I hear what you talking, but I ain't doing none of it. Then keep getting the same. I'm not here to convince no damn body on here. I'm just telling you how I changed my life. And how I'm constantly changing my life. That's it. So it's like either you do the work or you don't. But whatever you choose, please do not be blaming other people for whatever part or whatever shows up in your life, because it's a manifestation of what you have been doing up into this point. You don't study, you're going to fail. If you feel as though like, all right, well, I've been programmed, and you don't rewrite the program, in the words of Bruce Lipton, we all have tapes within us in our subconscious mind that constantly keep on going, keep on playing. And every time you decide you want to do something, it'll be something that's there that'll tell you you're not good enough, okay? You can't do this. What makes you think that you deserve this life? What makes you think? You don't think I go through that? I go through that. I hear it, okay? I go through the shit. But when I go through it, guess what? I read a book. When I go through it, I constantly listen to self-development tapes. I constantly listen to it. This is not like, all right, well, I listened to it for today, tomorrow. No, this is this is a lifestyle. This is not just, all right, well, I'm gonna just do it today. It's like an on and off thing. No, this is not that. And just like I have the time to put the work in, different. You have the time to put the work in. But it's funny. Isn't it funny that the things that's not serving you, that you constantly keep on doing those things? You constantly show up for those things. It's not serving you, okay? And we all have 24 hours in a day. And what you do in your 24 hours with your future self, thank you for it. Or would you constantly blame and look at other people and say, God damn, they must be had the ticket to become successful? What ticket? Oh, they must be had the hookup. What hookup? There's no hookup. Yeah, granted, some people was born into certain families, but it's a lot of people that's fucking not. It's a lot of people that's are self goddamn made. And you got to ask yourself, do you feel that you have what it takes? Because the truth of the matter is you do. You do have what it takes. Nobody is telling you to read the whole goddamn book. Open the book at least and read just read a page of it. Or just read a paragraph of it. Okay? Put the book in the goddamn bathroom. When you go in the bathroom, just pick the book up. Read one sentence of it. But god damn it, at least do something different than what you used to do. At least do something different than what you did yesterday. Every day. You're supposed to be doing something different. Whether it's reading a new book, whether it's walking a different way, whether it's driving a different way, whether it's going to a different store, whatever it is, whether it's you rocking your hair different. I don't give a damn what it is. But each and every day you're supposed to be doing something different. And it could be something so minute, something so small. It does not matter. What matters is you get into the action of doing something different. Because you came here, you're supposed to be growing and creating. And it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be like, oh my goodness, like what the hell, right? When I started reading, I started seeing things different, right? It stimulated my imagination. I got creative. Start looking at the relationships I was in. Oh, wait, this ain't gonna work. And things just started happening. Not just but because I decided for my life to change. I decided I wanted better. I couldn't listen to people who was telling me stuff and I'm looking at their life and they not doing nothing, and there's no judgment. But I had to ask myself, do I want my life to be like theirs? And so that's why I'm very selective. Very selective who come in my space. Very selective. And I don't like small talk. So you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to do to change my life? Meditate on it, write it down, or whatever it is. Maybe at first you don't come up with nothing. But oftentimes the books that we tend to have that's in our health, sometimes those books, they have solutions in them. And maybe reading isn't your thing. Okay, well, listen to some audio. Listen to something that talks about personal development. Listen to something that is going to start having you, second guessing your life. Like, oh, well, up until this point, I do it, the ball was out of my court. Only to come to find out that the ball is actually in my goddamn court. The ball is actually in your court. But you got to ask yourself, if I'm willing to pick the ball up, you going to just let it stay in the court? Or you going to pick it up? But whatever you do decide to do, just understand those seeds that you plant, you reap the harvest. A year from now, whatever you're doing today, constantly ask yourself, is my future self going to thank me for this? Become so aware of what you do and why you do it. Is my future self going to thank me for this? If you feel as though it will, continue to do it. But if it's a part of you that says, you know what? I deserve better. I'm going to actually do something different today. And people around you, they may call you crazy. They may say, what's going on with you, right? Because it is so different than the way you have been living that they don't understand it. And so you can't worry about them calling you crazy or them thinking or whatever. They think whatever they want to think. You got to ask yourself, am I so impressed about what they think that I'm going to continuously stay the same? Or am I so impressed about what I think and knowing that I deserve better, knowing that I deserve more, And so therefore, I'm going to do something different. What the hell they think? I don't give a damn what they think. They going to think whatever they want to think. But I'm changing my life. And those same as that people, when you first get started, they not going to understand it. But as long as you keep on going. I remember my mother, it was one time we wasn't really talking around this time. And me and her started talking again. I reached out to my mother and, started talking to, and we started talking. And I was telling her about everything, what was going on in my life and stuff. And I remember she said, "Dang, you still sticking to that." It was the personal development. Just kept listening to the audios. Keep listening to them. And my way of thinking and the way I seen the world, instead of me seeing the world as a goddamn pessimist, I started seeing the world as an optimist. What? Honey. Okay? Instead of me seeing the world like, oh, the glass is half empty, I said, shit, this glass is half goddamn full. Okay, let's see how we can make it fuller. So you got to look at your life. You are one of a kind. You got to start looking. You got to start taking your power back. And by you blaming, shaming, naming, gaming, okay, you giving all your goddamn power up. You just saying, oh, well, here you go. Yeah, I know you done screwed me over, but let me see how I could continuously screw my damn self. Why would you continuously screw yourself? If what occurred to you, why you keep on playing this in your subconscious? You keep playing it. Keep on playing the tape. Your life is gonna get better when you get better. And that's how it works. That's how it works. I was in a system, okay? I was, juvenile detention center, foster home, group home, all right? And guess what? I start looking at my life and start saying, you know what? I have the ability to change this. We all been dealt certain cards, okay? We all been through it. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be someone else's inspiration? Or you just going to you just going to lay down and stay down? Are you going to be someone's inspiration when somebody, oh, you know what? That video or whatever it was, that really inspired me to pick up the pieces. You really inspired me in a way. You showed me that I have what it takes. And you got to ask yourself, I believe in myself so goddamn much. I believe in you. You got to look at yourself. I believe in myself so much. I believe in you. I know you capable of. You know how I know you capable of? Because I'm capable. Okay? And if I know I'm goddamn capable, I know you capable. That's, I remember my father, he used to have this saying, and I wasn't around for this saying, but this is what my mother told me. She said, when she would feel sorry for guys, right? My father would say to her, don't you feel sorry for no nigga, okay? And I never understood that. And I used to say, why would he say that? Why would he say don't feel sorry for people, And the reason I get it, because we all have choices. We all have choices. Just like I have a choice to get up and read, to get up and listen to personal development, to apply this stuff to my life. You have a choice too. And so what lets you off the hook? What lets you off the hook? You want to be let off the hook because you don't believe in yourself. And you want to keep blaming people because you don't see it for yourself. But it's something so phenomenal within you that only if you meet it halfway, only if you start playing with life and start understanding that I have the ability, ooh, your life gonna change. Unrecognizable, your life is going to change. Instead of seeking, in the words of Vernon Howard, okay, one of the things he talks about in his book, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power, he talks about heaven and the kingdom. And instead of you looking for things outside yourself, start connecting with them. Instead of you saying, well, I gotta have this to pay my bills, I gotta have that, how about you start connecting with them? Is somewhere in the Bible, okay, and I don't know the Bible word from word, but it says something about Jesus when he says something about the birds, right? Like the birds, they don't worry. They know that they're gonna have food. They don't, and it says something like, so why are you worried? Like, do you not have faith or something like that? I know you've been programmed to look for things outside yourself, but the real magic and where it's happening is within you. Is within you. Okay, so we have choices. And I challenge you. I challenge you to do something different today. I challenge you, whatever that different is, whether that different is to pick up that book and read one page of it or one sentence of it. It's going to be goddamn different than what you did yesterday. I challenge you. I challenge you to listen to something different. Personal development. I challenge you to write your goals down, to write your dreams down, to write what you desire. I challenge you. I challenge you to even make a vision board. If you got a printer, you could print the goddamn pictures out. And you could put them on a board or put them in a binder, put them on a damn piece of paper. I don't give a damn, but I challenge you. Because the only way your life is going to change is once you change. And to think that your life is going to change without you doing anything, you are sadly mistaken. Because it's not. You are capable. You are deserving. You are phenomenal. You are beautiful. And you have what it takes. Whatever it is, you have it within you. No one could ever tell you what you are capable or what you're not capable of having or doing or being. No one. But you got to believe in yourself. And you got to keep on knowing that it's possible. Whatever it is. In the words of Les Brown, it's possible. Whatever that is, whatever it is that you want to manifest into your life, it is possible. And you will have it. And you can be it and do it. Believe in yourself. And with that being said, I love you guys.